The meeting of the Board of Ellis County Commissioners will now come to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Bobby, note that Commissioner Younger and I are here and we have a quorum. With the order of business, there will be 2 executive sessions. Prior minutes. Commissioner, did you get a chance to review minutes?
I did.
Everything
looks
okay?
Good.
Okay, the minutes will stand as submitted. Consent agenda. Would you like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda, items A through G.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Issues from persons not on the order of business. Dustin.
Good evening, Commissioners. Dustin Roach, Chair of the Ellis County Republican Party. I'm the one tasked with finding you guys a new commissioner. I'm just here tonight to let you know that we will be having a vote on Thursday at 7:30 is when the meeting will start. 7 o'clock will be credentials. We have 2 precinct committee people that will be deciding on the next commissioner. It'll be at 1102 Main Street, the Strand Event Center, in a building that I own in downtown. And we still have time, if there is anybody else that would like to be considered for the position, for them to reach out to me. The best way to get a hold of me is on my business email. It's diamondrjewelry@gmail.com. Or you can find us on our Facebook page. That's the way a lot of them have gotten us their stuff. We ask for anybody interested to get us a cover letter and resume for our precinct people to look over. And at the end of that meeting, we should have an appointee to send to the governor for signing. That way we can get you a commissioner as soon as possible. I just figured I would tell everybody that here so the press could possibly notate that, and anybody who would like to be considered for the position. Once again, it's one of those things where I wish we had more precinct people. It's something that I hit on every meeting and try to get people to put their names on the ballots, but this is a perfect example of why those seats are so important. And we only have 2 in Dean's district, and I believe there's well over 15 that could be filled. So, any questions for me?
How many applicants did you have so far?
I believe at this point I have 3 confirmed applicants. I've had a couple other that have reached out to me. I'm asking them to be at the meeting, although it wouldn't disqualify them if they can't, for questioning. The main thing is that both of the precinct people would like cover letters and resumes so that they can get an idea of who they're voting on before the Q&A period. Likely in past, when we've had to do this, we allow the person 5-10 minutes to talk about themselves and why they think they'd be good for the position, and then we open it up for questioning. We try not to have the entire crowd do the questioning, more the people that are doing the voting, as well as the party. The chair, the vice chair is Sue Bolger. I'm the chair, and then we have a secretary and a treasurer. Connie Lycum is our treasurer, and our secretary is Brad Stramel. Mm-hmm. So that's how the meeting goes. In the case of a tie or an event of a tie, I'm going to figure out what steps we go from there. But it sounds to me between the 2 precinct people, they're going to work together to try and come with a consensus so that we can go ahead and get the ball rolling on this.
How many more precinct committee people would you have slots for?
Quite a few. Let me pull up here. I can give you an idea. I believe essentially all we have in Ward 4, Precinct 4 is Errol Wirtz. We can have a male, a woman, and a man in each ward and precinct in that district. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This doesn't show me all of them that are in District 3, but yeah, District 2 is relatively well represented because it just seems to be the area where we get good attendance from, but I don't feel comfortable doing it now, but I can also appoint people to these positions if they're interested. So if they'd reach out to me, I would like to do that not when a vote is coming up. So, after this, if you are interested in that position, I'd be happy to do some appointing. Usually what I do is just kind of look at your background. If I know of you or know you might be good at it, then I do that. Otherwise, I don't. I don't like doing appointing. I'd much rather people put put their name on a ballot and get elected in. We had a few contested races the last election cycle, and that in bigger counties like Johnson, they're almost always contested, the man and the woman in those precincts. So I think when you get to that amount of people, enough people understand how important it is. It's certainly important here, and luckily for us, we do have really good precinct people in these districts. Errol Wirtz, and the other is Ruth Leglighter that will end up making this decision ultimately.
Okay. If that candidate is chosen, you said Thursday night,
Yes.
would you please let Darren know so he could forward that name to us commissioners?
Yes, no problem. I will. I'll let Darren know, and as soon as we get a signature from the governor, we already have a form letter we just need to fill out. We will shoot that to her right away, registered mail, and hopefully have it back to you. I'd imagine at the latest they would be started next month for your meeting sessions.
Okay, sounds good.
All righty.
Commissioner, any questions?
Only thing, I don't know if I caught it or not, when is the deadline that they can put their name in?
Probably clear to the end. I would say it'd be better if somebody would let me know by Wednesday night. That way they would have all Thursday before the meeting to look these things over. 7 o'clock again is when we are going to do credentials. It's only 2 people, and I know them personally, so it's not going to be hard to do credential checking. The only other thing that I haven't mentioned is you need to be a registered Republican. I have had a few people that reached out and then told me, oh, I'm actually a registered independent. We're not going to consider you as the Republican Party if you're not registered as a Republican. And the only reason for that, and it's hard because we don't really learn this stuff growing up in civics, that how the party system works. But we encourage everybody to, whether or not they agree 100% with the Republican or the Democrat Party, to pick a side just for the sake of being able to vote in primaries and to be involved in these processes if they may at some point eventually decide they want to run for office. The party system is a system that we have, like it or not, and so it's not something we learn a lot about, but this is when you get a real crash course in civics and government. So yes, must be a registered Republican. You can change, and it takes less than a day to get changed to a Republican Party, but I imagine our precinct people are going to ask you how long you've been a Republican if you're running for the seat too. So.
Okay, well, Dustin, thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, Neil, the monthly department report, did you get a chance to review it?
I did. Everything looks
Okay,
great.
it was very thorough.
Very thorough.
Okay, Health Department and EMS Director appointments, promotions. Darren?
Good evening, Commissioners. Darren Myers, County Administrator. Before you tonight is several actions to take place in regards to the vacancy that was left when Jason Kennedy resigned from the county. At the end of this, I guess it would be 3 different motions, but I'll kind of try to walk through it. We've met individually with both the interim health and EMS directors, so that way the commissioners can meet them, as well as we had them in executive session last week to be able to discuss them together with the commission, their goals and objectives that they would like to see both the EMS and health departments move towards in the future. And since then, I've visited with both Kim Real and Danita Schrader, the 2 interim directors, and they both accepted your offer as being the directors of the health department and EMS system here in Hayes, and they're both here tonight, and it looks like Danita's got her family here as well. But as part of that, the first, I guess we can call them up, and then we can talk through them, the different changes throughout the departments. But I guess if we can have Kim come up first. As the commission knows, Kim has been with the health department since June of 2020. She came right in the middle of well, not in the middle of COVID now anymore, but almost in the very beginning of COVID, and came on with the registered nurse with the health department, and Jason recognized her ability to lead and run the operations for the clinic side, and she was promoted, and we reclassified that position as a clinic nurse manager. And then since then, moved into the interim direction after Jason left in November of 2021. She's been a nurse for about, was it 2008 or 7? 13. I didn't write that piece down. 2 degrees, business communications, as well as her business in nursing. So she's got the requirements for the job description. And she has expressed some interest to take on the role of the health director, which would be a new position that we revert back to after a couple years since Butch retired. Since that time, it's been a combined position with EMS. Both Kerry McHugh and Jason Kennedy have suggested that we make this change and bring out the health department back to its own individual department so they can function more efficiently and be focused on as one individual department and not 2. So with that, I have your permission to appoint Kim as the director for the health department, as it is a commission-appointed position.
Okay. I move to change the health department position allocations to 1 health administrator, 1 chief public health nurse, 1 registered nurse, 1 billing coordinator, 1 administrative coordinator, and 1 administrative assistant. Is there a second?
I have a second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. And then in like manner, I move to accept the updated health administrator's job description as attached. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Kim, you are now the health administrator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to speak? Want to practice your speech?
I appreciate the opportunity to serve Ellis County. I look forward to the position.
Okay. You'll do fine.
Yep. Thank you.
Next, if Danita wants to come up. Danita's been with the Ellis County EMS system since June of 1999. So just about 23 years. She started off as a paramedic and got her degree at Kansas Wesleyan as Washburn, close. In criminal justice. And she's been a paramedic with us, and she's moved up through the ranks from a paramedic all the way up to a shift captain and as the assistant director under Jason for a while until Jason's departure, and then as the interim director for the last couple months. We've met with Danita, and she does meet all the job qualifications, and she's excited to take the EMS, Ellis County EMS into the next, or into the future. She's got some ideas to help with the training of the new EMT program and the protocols to transition from not only having paramedics on the trucks, but also EMTs that have a little bit more ability to do their jobs on the trucks. So with that, I guess we would need an appointment as well, that third motion to officially appoint Kim and Danita as the new administrators.
You want to make that
I
motion,
will.
Neil?
I will move that to appoint Anita Schroeder as EMS Director and Kim Reel as Health Administrator for Ellis County.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Congratulations, Danita.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Or the EMS director.
Like Kim, I'm excited too to move into this position, and I look forward to keeping our emergency medical services going for our citizens of Ellis County. So,
Okay.
thank you
We
very
will-
much.
We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
I guess just for clarification on that first motion too, with adding the health administrator back into the health department, is just we reallocated the positions to have the nurse that was approved as well as the health administrator, and then changing from 2 administrative assistants to 1 administrative assistant and 1 administrative coordinator to help with the split duties and cross-training that they're wanting to do within the health department as well. So that was the clarification on that first motion.
Yeah, and I think it's good to clarify just to the public that we reconfigured EMS and the health department, merged them into one, or I guess, one department director under both of them. And when Director McHugh was managing both systems, he expressed several times it just wasn't working very well, even when times were good. And Jason expressed the same thing. And then when times were bad, it just really got bad. And I think the board decided it was time to put things back to the way they were so we could get efficiency once again. So just for the public to know that. Okay, moving on.
Yes, I would like to add too that Danita would like to add open up the Assistant EMS Director position and get that advertised so that way she can start receiving applications to fill her vacated position as the Assistant Director.
Absolutely.
So we'll get on that, top of that tomorrow. And I think we've had the RN position open for about 2 weeks and got an applicant, and then the administrative assistant, she said she's got about 20.
Mm-hmm.
So they're progressing on that, on the health department side as well.
Okay, great. Okay, did Mason make it? Yep. Yeah, there he is. Okay, we have the permit fees for fire damages. Mason.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mason Reuter, Environmental Services Director. Just wanted to go over something we've been noticing since the fires back in December. Now that a lot of the cleanup is clearing up, a lot of residents are coming to start the process for the rebuilding. We didn't want to be another financial burden in our office on them for rebuilding, so we wanted to come and ask your approval if we could, I guess, not have the fees for the residences that were destroyed with the list that was given to us by Darren and Lyle, just to help in any way we can.
I think it's important to give the people as much latitude as we can with help during this time, so I'm definitely in favor of that. Are you?
I am too.
Okay. I'll move to waive the zoning and environmental fees for the residences destroyed in the Ellis County fires on December 15th, 2021.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners. I'll let those individual property owners know.
Okay. Okay, the next is the Hemp THC Products. Mr. Anderson?
Good evening, Commissioners. Robert Anderson, Ellis County Attorney, if you didn't know. Just here to give you an update on certain hemp products and developments in the law, certainly locally, but perhaps statewide. As you may or may not be aware, Kansas legalized hemp, I think in 2018, maybe 2019. Since that time, we've seen hemp stores or stores that sell hemp products pop up. In Ellis County, I'm aware of at least 16 locations that sell some form of hemp products. Hemp products are legal, mostly. Just a little bit of history. When hemp was legalized, the only real requirement of hemp was that the plant itself have a Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol concentration of less than 0.3% on a dry weight basis. From there, any hemp products that were made from a lawful hemp plant were legal. And then the law drastically changed, in my opinion, and is no longer just my opinion, on April 28, 2021. So just backing up a little bit, because I think, and if by the end of this, you commissioners or anyone else listening is confused, don't feel bad. This is something that is very confusing to judges, attorneys, prosecutors. As I've gone through this topic and reached out to legislators, judges, prosecutors, it seems that I'm maybe one of few people who understand this stuff, but so I guess let's start with a few fundamentals. Marijuana and hemp are two different plants, both of which fall under a larger family or genus called cannabis. In both hemp and marijuana, we have what are called cannabinoids. The two primary cannabinoids that you hear about are CBD and THC, although those are not individual chemicals. There are hundreds of different cannabinoids in both of those plants. Underneath THC, we have multiple different kinds of THC. Most people, I don't think, know that. When we talk about THC as the psychoactive chemical that, quote, gets you high from marijuana, what we're talking about is primarily delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. Delta-9 exists in marijuana in a larger concentration than it does in hemp. In hemp, it's very low concentration, and for a hemp plant to be lawful, that concentration needs to be less than 0.3%. Okay, so those are kind of the fundamentals. If out in our community we have products or flour or whatever, the first analysis is, does this thing that we're looking at, does it come from marijuana? It's illegal. In Kansas, marijuana and all things that come from marijuana are illegal. Hemp and things that come from hemp, lawful most of the time. Like I said, when the Agricultural Hemp Act was first passed, the only requirement was that the plant itself have a delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol concentration of less than 0.3%. My reading of the definition of hemp products at that time meant that any hemp product, any product that came from a lawful hemp plant was lawful regardless of what that product was to some degree, regardless of the cannabinoid profile that was contained within that product, regardless of the concentration of the product. Around the time I took office, January 11th, 2021, there was a number of law enforcement officers as well as my drug prosecutor who were very concerned with some products that had started flooding the market, not only here in Ellis County, but across the state. These products are marketed as Delta-8 THC products. These products are hemp-derived, but they are highly concentrated with Delta-8 THC. As I said, there are many different types of THC. Delta-8 is one of them. So these products, they comply with this notion that they have less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC, but then they are in upwards of 60 to 99% concentrated with Delta-8 THC. Prior to April 28, 2021, I think these products were legal as the law was written. The law was amended on April 28, 2021 to change the definition of what a hemp product is. And I don't have that definition in front of me, but essentially the language is all final hemp products must contain a tetrahydrocannabinol concentration of less than 0.3%. It's not specifically talking about Delta-8 anymore. It's not specifically talking about any specific type of tetrahydrocannabinol. So I read that to mean a total THC concentration of less than 0.3%. These products, as I said, have less than 0.3% Delta-9, but in upwards of 99% Delta-8, therefore being much greater than 0.3%. I was kind of the opinion that these products were illegal. Even though I believe that these products were illegal, we, as law enforcement, at my request, did not do anything to the store owners, businesses in our community that carry these products. We did not want to take their products, cause them financial hardship or embarrassment or anything like that without, number one, being absolutely certain that we were correct on the law, and number two, without giving them an appropriate and proper amount of time to be educated and comply with the law. Following my determination of or my interpretation of the law and being uncertain of whether or not I was correct, I did reach out to a number of prosecutors. Really, there was no consensus on this topic. I submitted a formal request to the Attorney General's office for the Attorney General to give an opinion on these legal issues. That request was denied. The Kansas Attorney General did accept a request to issue an opinion on these legal issues from the only other entity that asked, and that was the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. I emailed our legislators. I emailed every single member of the Agricultural Committee. I've emailed them multiple times throughout this process. I've received almost no response back. I was supposed to have a phone call with one legislator today. I did not receive that phone call. We had a case pop up where one of these stores that carries these products was burglarized. A lot of what was taken was Delta 8 THC products. I charged this individual with, amongst other things, burglary, theft, and because he had distributed these products to his friends, unlawful distribution of illegal tetrahydrocannabinols. It just seemed like an interesting case that popped up. Part of the, ways in which theft is charged is based on value. If what he stole was lawful product, then that can be added to the value. If what he stole from the store was illegal contraband, well, you can't really consider that as under the value of what was stolen, so the theft charge had to be charged in the alternative in different ways. Anyway, if I get too long-winded throughout this process, please let me know. With that case, defense counsel filed a motion to dismiss based on the idea that these products are lawful, therefore this person could not be charged with distributing unlawful products that are actually lawful. We had a district court judge in our district weigh in on that. He did find that these products are illegal under Kansas law. A few weeks before that, December 2nd, 2021, the Kansas Attorney General issued an opinion that basically mirrored everything I had been saying. Derek Schmidt, the Kansas Attorney General, believes these products are illegal. And the bottom line is that hemp products must contain a total THC concentration no greater than 0.3%. So just to be clear, what I'm saying and what I'm not saying is, I am not saying that hemp products are illegal. Hemp products are generally legal. I am not saying that Delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol is illegal. I'm saying when it is in a product in a concentration greater than 0.3%, it is illegal. It's just been a very confusing thing for our business owners, for our citizens, for law enforcement, for prosecutors to understand and to enforce and to abide by. It is my hope that through this process, the legislator will act and sort through this, but right now we're kind of in a strange state of confusion where all across the state, except for Ellis County, these products are being sold. In Ellis County, these products, as far as I know, have been removed from the shelves. Enforcement moving forward will look like, most likely what it'll look like is law enforcement, because they are under the impression that these products are illegal contraband, have an obligation to seize these products as illegal contraband. However, it is highly unlikely that my office would charge a business owner with distribution of illegal substances from this. Now, moving forward, if they continue over and over and over to carry these products, maybe we'll have to deal with it a different way, but I really don't want to treat any of our entrepreneurs within the community as drug dealers. That seems harsh. Other tidbits that you may be interested in is alongside these products, we have also seen in stores products brought in from California that are not hemp products at all. They are marijuana products. And this stuff is just really, really difficult for people to know what they're getting into, know what they're selling, know what they're buying, know what they're using. The packaging is not clear. As a consumer, I'm certain these products violate the Consumer Protection Act. They don't warn you that these products will get you high, and they will get you high with 60 to 99% concentration of a THC substance. I don't care if it's Delta 9 or Delta 8, it will get you high. It will cause you to test positive on a drug screen. These are important things for people to know, in particular employees of the county. I've issued a memo to our county administrator. I believe that that memo is being disseminated amongst all department heads and employees. It's just important that people understand what these products are, what the current status is in terms of whether or not they are legal or illegal, what they will do to you physically if you consume them, what they will do in terms of a drug screen. So this is a mess. It's going to require a lot of education. It's going to require some change to state legislation. I hope they do that soon. I hope they do that quickly. I've been announcing this in the papers and on TV, and I'll do it here too. My personal opinion is that they should legalize marijuana and hemp in all forms. As the county attorney, I'm not concerned with whether or not they legalize it, decriminalize it, or make it all illegal, but I wouldn't have a preference that they either make everything legal or everything illegal. From an enforcement standpoint, that makes it much more clear-cut and easier to do our jobs and easier for law enforcement to do their jobs. Right now, we're in this in-between where you come across a vape pen on the street, you don't know what's in it, where it came from. It's just a problem. So that's the update. I don't know if I took a long time there. Does anyone have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. This is a subject I just know very little about. I don't know enough to ask a question, so.
Sure. I suppose it's important in this context with the commissioners because of what we've done, because we forced these products off the shelves, there is implications in terms of lost tax, sales tax revenue. There are certainly angry business owners. I apologize to them for cutting into their business, but unfortunately it's my job to enforce the law, and it's unfortunate for them that Ellis County is leading the charge and knowing what the law is. Certainly private citizens, are probably a majority of them, are unhappy with this and want these products and want to use them. So again, if anyone is watching this and listening, I would highly encourage you to contact your legislators. Hopefully they will hear you and hopefully they will act.
Commissioner, do you have any questions?
The only question I had, you answered if it was detected in the bloodstream or whatever, but how do you know what else they've had before that?
Sure.
Where's the
Yeah.
products coming from?
And just a little bit on that, drug screens detect, as my understanding anyways, they detect metabolites from THC. So there's really no way of differentiating whether or not the THC that's present on a drug screen is from hemp, from marijuana, whether it's Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 6. You're either positive for THC or you're not. So in terms of advising the county and our county employees, particularly those employees who operate machinery, the idea is stay away from it. Because this will cause you to test positive. If you get in a wreck and you are positive for THC, it's not, you're not gonna be able to explain that this was a hemp product. It's gonna create liability. And another point, when I say that these products will get you high, I'm specifically talking about these Delta 8 products that are highly concentrated Delta 8 THC. These other products, CBD products, most hemp products, they're not going to get you high. They're almost certainly not going to cause you to test positive on a drug screen. When we talk about just regular hemp products that are either 0 THC or trace amounts THC or less than 0.3%, you could eat and drink every product in the store and not get high, and probably not have that show up on a drug screen. It's these other products marketed as Delta 8 THC products that are highly concentrated, and those are the problem. Those are the ones that are illegal.
Okay, well, Robert, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Robert did present that to staff. He did a great job. And we've shared that to make sure our personnel policy is updated, and we're going to share that with the entire staff so that way they're fully aware, especially the employees that have CDLs, like Robert said,
Sure.
that work out of Public Works, because they will not only just potentially lose their job, but lose their license as well, and not be able to get a CDL or retain it again in the future.
Something people need to be aware of. Okay, County Administrator report.
The only thing I have tonight is here later on this evening, the emergency manager and myself are going over to the city of Ellis to talk to them in regards to the CDBG grant that we've just preliminarily discussed about the emergency services building, potentially getting a grant for that over in Ellis. We're going to visit with our city council and then make sure that they're up to date and have their questions answered, and then we'll bring it back to your commission to discuss it further in the first part of February. So I just wanted to let you know that we're heading over there. That's all I got.
Okay. County Commission reports. Commissioner Neal.
I led a pretty boring life. Only thing I done was And I got to commend Sarah for the ag lunch or supper last Thursday. So other than that,
Okay.
everything's good. Thank you, Sarah.
And I have no report. Executive sessions. I will make a motion, we go into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss attorney-client privilege for potential litigation. Included in the executive session is the Board of Commissioners, Bill Jeter, Darren Myers, and Scott Brown.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0.
Scott did send me a message saying that he won't be able to make it. He had to
Okay.
head out of town.
Scott won't be here.
I can.
Okay, there's no action taken.
I move the Board of County Commissioners recess for executive session for 10 minutes. Discussion is potential land purchase. Those attending, Bill Jeter, Darren, Brendan, which is not here, and Commissioner Butch and Commissioner Younger.
Okay, I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 2-0.
Yeah. Colder in here.
it does feel cold now.
Okay, there is no action taken, and the meeting will adjourn at 6:04.
We lost our